I think it's history in the making one way or the other. It is the greatest
100%.
comeback SKT have ever brought forth and mustered, or it is the greatest destruction of a dynasty you've ever seen in League of Legends. SKT do not lose world championships. They have some ungodly record that ends in 0 losses when they're in elimination games at Worlds, and you might see it here today.
First change already in this pick and ban phase. Janna now removed. It was first picked twice by Samsung. Now Galio was another ban SKT used on the red side. Still a possibility, but also a chance to leave it open and try and give it to Crown.
Yeah, Galio definitely very big. I also think the Shen has just been so incredibly big for Samsung, and in the way that they wanted to play around earlier, the bottom lane first turret. Ooh.
Okay, so right now SKT have Galio and Sejuani both open, and Lulu as well. So a lot of key picks. They can actually leave all 3 up, give Samsung 1, and grab 2 for themselves.
Tristana's also up as a permaban champion, still right now alive in the draft. So a lot to hand back and forth. You wonder if they will draft the tier list or draft their own styles. Galio gets removed. So you talk about the rest of these champions that were highly prized.
Yeah.
Sejuani will be the first one.
And Ambition has just been so good on all of the champions that he's gotten so far that it does make sense for SK Telecom to try and leave that up as a possible trade back for those other 2 priority picks.
Kassadin ban though from Samsung is special right here. In case they were first picking the Galio, they might have respected the fact that Faker could grab Kassadin there and try and use it to surprise him like WE did with the Kassadin.
Also, it could possibly be setting up a Taliyah pick for them as well, because Kassadin's so good into Taliyah, and they don't want Faker to be able to answer that. And we've mentioned how big mobility is in this series, and that is still one of the picks that could contribute.
So they trade Sejuani and Gragas, but Lulu is still available and was not grabbed by SKT. Lulu Varus is an amazing bot lane for Samsung because they get so much early pressure with that lane and they can play around it. It would be a very solid one, but then they don't get Malzahar, and that's another big one here.
They're going to give up the mid lane pick for now. You expect SKT to ban that one away when they can, but the Samsung Galaxy bot lane showing SKT get a last dibs on a support pick before the bans come through.
Yep.
And it will be the Leona backs against the wall. Wolf learning from Ignar.
If you're giving over Lulu here, it's because you're ready to try and play something that can kill the Lulu.
Exactly. As soon as you see the Tristana lock-in, this is the go-to kill lane combination that we've seen. They have had success on. Now it's going to be up to see what Samsung Galaxy can actually craft around this, because they definitely know what's coming. This is not the surprise, the same that they already pulled out before.
So Taliyah ban, once again, important. Do not let Fake go on a champion with an easy global you can use to go to different lanes. Shen ban, Kobe, you already mentioned how important it is that Samsung can put that on CuVee and then protect the bottom lane. Malzahar is still there for Crown to play. This means we're looking at a Gnar early pick from SKT, and then they can still last pick for Faker.
And that's going to be the ban dropped away. You saw the Taliyah was the first ban this time around and not the Syndra. They left up a couple more options, so Syndra now an allowed mid laner. SKT get first dibs on the 2 remaining solo lanes.
Interesting here. Now, you always bring up fitting in Ardent Sensor when you have the Leona on the bottom side, so this could very well be a Faker Karma, but Huni also pre-Worlds played a lot of solo queue top lane Karma, so I just want to throw that one out
there. Of course, I respect that.
Because that also is something that they have utilized.
Still need a blind pick top here. Cho'Gath, Maokai are available. It's going to be the Cho'Gath here. Huni can play Trundle against it in the top lane. And that is what he's currently looking at, and he locks it in instantly. So Karma mid lane, SKT are going full misfits for this game.
And they're going somewhat full SKT from Game 5 of the semifinal, where they put all their eggs in the Bang basket. They had, of course, a ton of Galio games, more supportive mids out of Faker, this time bringing in Teleport to grab him some of that mobility, and it is Bang who's got to be a big carry.
Well, they had better go at full SKT right now, because they are down 2-0 in this series, never having lost the best of 5 at Worlds.
And the only thing Samsung look at in this draft that are kind of scared of is the Leona in the bottom lane. Everything on Samsung's side is perfect for them. Best jungler for Ambition, best mid lane pick for Crown, and a super strong bot lane to play around. Like, this is a great draft for Samsung and what they like to play, but the Leona pick from Wolf can ruin everything.
Bang and Wolf need to step up huge. In that last game, Bang with the flash forward on Varus was very disconnected from the rest of the team. And that was the big team fight that started the entire comeback for Samsung Galaxy. Now the pressure on his shoulders once again, and it's up to him to show why he's a defending champion and stand tall.
So is this the last time these coaches shake hands? 2-0 lead for Samsung Galaxy. A third ends the tournament. Faker's tournament life now. His world championship title run rests on Karma mid. Huni split pushing on Trundle and Bang on the Tristana.
If people had problems with Faker on Galio, then they're definitely not going to like the elimination match of putting Faker onto Karma, but you can see how much faith they have in that team play and how important that sensor is in the meta currently.
And it's so crazy that the best performing player during this tournament, the best player in the world, is being put on a supportive champion for this big game here. SKT have relied so much on Faker being so strong in so many games, and now it's not about Faker specifically, it's about Huni on Trundle and Bang and Wolf in the bottom lane.
Samsung have shown them the way to win as a team. Faker's bought in, now it's up to the team.
And it's a style we've seen Faker play throughout the years. He's one of the famous Lulu mids as well. It is certainly not a surprising style out of SKT. They have, throughout their years, almost a half decade of dominance at this point, they have shown us so many different things. Samsung Galaxy have been tried and true with one style. SKT hoping to find the one that counteracts it.
Will this return even find success? Because this year is so different from the history that we've seen from SK Telecom, and they haven't found success in that style.
And yet we're told every year this is the one that's different. SKT don't look the same as last time, and they'd always pulled it through in the end, which is why no one yet is willing to believe Samsung Galaxy sweeps this. But they are. At triple match point, they can do it.
All right, Huni and Blank moving in here to find CuVee and Ambition, trying to do the exact same thing they did last game. Take the enemy blue buff, split the map in half, and have Huni be safe on the top side. Ooh, some damage.
Again, a lot of damage into CuVee, put down to 300 HP, which again means bad things for his laning phase. The difficulty, of course, of Leona at level 1, you don't have quite the same tools, and a big chunk comes out of Bang.
And we have to talk about Leona and the fervor of battle right here. It's what we have seen from Igna, it's what we've seen from Wolf. You are so quick to stack it up with your melee attacks, giving 2 stacks for yourself, that when you all in, you very quickly get a lot of bonus damage doing that all in.
And the rush to the level 2 here, Samsung have control of this minion wave right now, and if you take into account the starting positions of the jungler, Samsung would be the ones with the advantage, being able to have Ambition on this bottom half of the map, whereas Blank right now for SK Telecom is completely counter-jungling and staying on the top side of the map.
And credit to CoreJJ zoning out the duo right now. SKT cannot walk up. Of course, Wolf, I believe, started with his stun at level 1. No, he does have E. I take that one back, but still they can't win the 2-on-2 with where the lane is right now. So level 2 easily goes to Samsung Galaxy. There's a level up right there, and SKT are entirely zoned off the wave until the reinforcements come in.
Blank gonna make an early look up to the top side here to target CuVee. Very low health here, and Cho'Gath only has his flash to get out.
Blank for the gank. Can he make it happen? Level 2 on both these players. No pillar for Huni. Looks for the barrel slow. That's going to be in there. And there's no way out. First blood comes through without even a summoner spell burn.
And that one here, CuVee are playing too aggressive early on in this laning phase. Huni is just letting the wave push to him, knowing there's a good chance that Blank, who started on the top side, can gank him.
And this is a very, very important kill for Huni to get on this Trundle. He can start to take over in the side lane and play to what we've seen SK Telecom utilize earlier in the tournament as far as the side lane pressure.
Of course, the TP's back into the lane right now. You saw Huni kind of manicure the wave to let it freeze towards him. Gets all the farm.
So we get to see a very easy gank here. CuVee is already low in the laning phase. Huni's been letting the wave push towards him. And obviously there's no way out here from the Cho'Gath side.
Pretty good layering overall. Huni getting the kill for himself. 400 up means he's going to feel very good in this matchup. Obviously a TMS start for him. And they'll be doing well this game.
Let's swap down to the bottom lane, because right now, it's Bang and Wolf getting pushed under their turret. They didn't get an all-in level 1 or level 2 just yet. CoreJJ is not running gold runes. He's going for this strong laning. There's some attack speed, there's some AP in there, and he wants to try and bully this Leona.
And with the bottom lane bullying, you can see on your minimap there, CoreJJ gets plenty of time to move up into the jungle with Ambition, but Blank had already made his way back down to that side and taken his own blue buff. So Ambition only gets to take away the Gromp here, and SK Telecom actually defends fairly well against that. Now that Blank is going over to his red buff though, they have vision on him, and that's what CuVee desperately needs on the Cho'Gath so he's not punished again.
Inside of minion wave, a really nice trade out of Faker there, puts Crown down to 200 health. He's got his own teleport. Summons his Voidling, so when Crown decides he needs to, he can get back to them without issues. But for now, Faker doing handily in the mid lane.
Just like game 1 and 2, Faker winning the early laning phase against the Malzahar here. We've highlighted multiple times why Crown is just going for this pick. It's all about the mid to late game, the quick engage from him to stop split pushing and be useful in fights. That one missed, could have been a big one onto Crown because Blank is just around the corner.
So far, no gank to be had out of the Gragas. Top lane is good enough for him as the first recalls have come through already. Tracker's Knife is in for Ambition. He's going to get the wards out now and might keep the Samsung Galaxy solo laners a bit safer.
I have to say, I really think Blank could have gained a lot out of trying to help Huni out with this zoning against Cho'Gath. There was not a lot of opportunity for CuVee to use Trinket Wars and get any more vision on the top side. So currently, Huni is basically zoning him away from CS during the cooldown of Rupture, but it could be even worse. And right now, his lane will eventually push back.
This will be the wave that it pushes back towards CuVee finally. He'll miss some more farm, but it won't get too much worse from this point on. 300 gold lead for SKT is actually less than First Blood would have given you. That was 577 in this game as we watch mid lane push back out for Crown.
Gotta see around mid because Blank is here again. They're going for Crown.
Gonna land the root, the flash, and chase in. They've got the crowd control, and another kill in the mid lane. SKT have one in a Faker.
Nice flash there from Faker to make sure the snare connects onto Crown, and then Blank is right there to get the kill as well.
Yep, nothing Crown can possibly do right there. Faker takes off the shield himself. Tether easily lands, and that is a guaranteed kill for SKT. Now 2-0 up in this game.
And this is one of the big things for SKT when they use these two different junglers. Peanut starts, Blank sits backstage, gets to watch the games with the coaching staff, then come in now and make an impact. Peanut was not able to secure a lot of early kills for his team. Blank in the first game he's in already got a kill top and a kill mid now for his solo laners.
Take another look there. Faker, as you said, early flashes so that the tether will keep. And Faker now, after that gank, gets to go around topside and help Huni continue to bully. It does come at the cost of his teleport, though, and Crown used his to get back to lane, so he's pushing on mid.
But still some really nice stuff out of that one. The level 6 power spike out of Huni pops the ult to force the Cho'Gath away, and CuVee going to lose so much of this farm. As that mid lane duo stays up there, you can see a lot of damage output coming into that turret. They might actually get the whole thing.
There you can see also the success of Blank that SK Telecom have had this year when he's actually subbed in off the bench. Huni does get low, but it's not a level 6 Cho'Gath, so there's no ult there.
And Faker's back. CuVee does not have flash. There is not a way out from this. As he dodge Rupture? Yes, he does. Now Faker's going to wait for the next W. A few seconds away, a bit more damage than a CuVee. Empowers the first one. Looking for the chase down. Does he have the damage output? He's going to go for the dive. Gets Silence walks away from the Rupture.
All right, no kill right there, but CuVee again is forced away from the CS. Only 34 right now for this Cho'Gath. 60 for Huni coming up.
Let's return to the story of the bottom lane and Bang & Wolf here, because I want to talk a little bit more about this Leona pick. So many people were really impressed with it when Misfits came out of the block, getting the first double kills and the first blood down there. So much of her laning power comes from kill pressure.
Yeah.
And if they are left alone and zoned out and the vision of your jungler is given up on the other side of the map, she loses so much of her possible laning power because there isn't that threat of the other sources coming, of stacking the CC, of getting those kills.
Another big thing is your level 1 and level 2, where you actually with Fervor of Battle and your CC can apply a lot of damage, and you run this offensive summoner. But in this lane, CoreJJ and Ruler instantly won the first trade at level 1 and just pushed SKT back to the turret. And the later we go into this lane now, well, CoreJJ is going to get more HP, he's going to have his shields, and Wolf is waiting for level 6 now before he can actually try and all in.
And even though, as you mentioned, Kobe, that the only reason this lane would be good is kill pressure, it meant that SKT drafted 3 gankable lanes for Blank to come in and say, you go anywhere on the map. Faker's got the flash route, Huni's got the pillar and the chase down. No matter where you go, we've got the follow-up. And Blank so far 2 for 2 on excellent ganks. And a 7-minute first turret, obviously for Huni, a huge deal as well.
That is definitely something you take into consideration when you're evaluating, CuVee's early gameplay. And he's pushing up super heavily on the top side. It's part of the reason you're talking about, Freak, with bottom lane being a very juicy and possible gank target. But definitely success found early again for SK Telecom. Remember how game number 2 went though, and Samsung Galaxy were still able to stick to that game plan.
I like the fact though that SKT secured this early tower by even TPing Faker to that lane. Because now they don't need to keep helping Huni. He's fine on his own. Now you can put all your vision and attention to the bottom side. Level 6 is there from Wolf, and you can start getting some kills.
It's especially important when you take into consideration the overall goals of SK Telecom with this draft. With this team composition, they want to open up that lane for the Trundle to push into this Cho'Gath. Huni now has his territory to work with, while you can try and make those picks with the Leona that you're setting up. Now ultimate ready, and they have to worry about it.
You talked about the SKT plans here. The early game, the Leona rushes mobility boots here, right? Even if the lane itself hasn't looked good, they're looking to get more out of Wolf to find the ultimates, to find the engages. We're not done watching Leona fight yet.
Oh, definitely not. Faker's down here. We have Blank on the way as well. But Ambition is able back of Faker though. Just kills the blast cone to avoid aggression from the side of Samsung.
Right now, they've got Ambition inside their own jungle.
There's the root, the flash ulti as well, and it gets tanked up by the Leona. Tanky she is, but the ulti comes across, and there's almost no way out. The heal comes in, and actually Wolf's going to survive it, and it's a walk away now. Huni is teaming to the back line, gets the pillar. One more shot does him in. Huni gets the kill into Ambition, and CoreJJ's isolated. He's flashless. Leona's going to do nothing but buy a few more seconds as down he goes. The damage not to be had. Wolf survives again.
And Huni joins the team here with the Trundle. Teleports down to the bottom team fight, while CuVee, teleport on cooldown, stuck on the top lane, and he's the big difference maker. SK Telecom are able to get the extra kills around bottom lane this time around.
Also have to highlight Faker being there so early, reading the play here from Samsung. They're now going for mid lane.
There's Crown with the flash to go over the wall. He's not going to choose to the very end, but the root already landed. So that's going to be a body slam, and Faker with a second kill.
Again, the predictive plays here from Faker, knows that the escape would be over the wall, gets close enough so that the tether still lands, and he has been the playmaker. This guy, the play on Karma reminding you of his play on Galio everywhere on the map while supporting the rest of his team.
Such a good early game, such an important early game for SKT. They know Huni's Trundle will take over the side lane. They know they can create picks with Leona if they get them out of the laning phase here. Faker's reading this situation. He's down bot lane already, and now Wolf knows, oh, we can fight here.
Yeah, Faker closes the trap there, blowing up the blast clone. Wolf did flash for that ultimate there with Leona, but he also got a flash out of Ruler and answer, and then Huni's teleport and blast cone over the back of the Dragon Pit completely catches Samsung by surprise.
CuVee had to cancel his own TP, and so much CC spent on just the Leona at first. There were a polymorph, there was an ulti from Crown, there was an ulti from Ambition, and then Wolf managed to step out just at the right time to not actually die. And then all the CC was gone from Samsung's side, and they could not take the fight.
Good battle out of SKT 5-0 in this one. They got that first turn a while ago as well, and they sit on this 3,000 gold lead. Baker TP up. Now a battle between Huni and CuVee, and it just means a flash out of the Cho'Gath. They can't get anything anywhere, Samsung Galaxy. Now Crown found out one more time. The knockback right into Faker's waiting arms, and Karma's going to catch up to you again. But Enola going to come out. They're going to find suppression, and they might just get that first kill. They do. Samsung Galaxy on the board, looking for more. Wolf going to run away.
Yep, now they've got the bottom lane back and covered. SK Telecom punished this time around as the two-man squad gets turned on and isolated.
And all these plays here are so important because Samsung wants to kill this bot lane tower to get some gold. SKT are reading that situation, so they're constantly sitting bot lane to protect. But the fact they lost this trade actually allows SKT to go forward. Let's see a fight.
Taking the big play, TP coming in as well for this one. They're going to cancel that one out. The damage is all they need. Ruler doesn't have an exit, but the barrier! He baits, bang with it, and gets a free ticket out.
Faker TP'd into the bottom lane again to protect that tower.
SK Telecom are starting to scramble. You can feel the pressure. You can feel the tension in the elimination game here. And Samsung are holding strong.
Baker's still waiting in the wings, but here comes Ambition, 3 versus 1. They're going to get the stun of one more auto attack. And here comes Crown as well. Faker has flashed right into his waiting arms, and Crown says, I'll get you back for that one. The shield not going to be enough. Malefic Visions and an auto attack gets the second kill of the game for Samsung Galaxy.
CuVee's bot lane right now trying to kill Wolf, but ends up just stepping away. This tower now needs to die.
Yeah, if CuVee's bottom lane, that means Huni is left unattended. The strong point here for SK Telecom, the split pushing Trundle, is going to be able to create that side lane pressure.
And this is why SKT wanted to get Huni ahead in the start of the game, so he could just sit top lane, and then they swap down to bot side to try and protect. but they've now been losing a few of these skirmishes, actually giving Samsung the bot lane tower and mid lane tower, which was low from before. So a lot of small things happen. Yes, it might just be one kill going back and forth, but it then allows you to further push down an objective and get gold for your team.
League of Legends, obviously a team game. The entire map always matters. So when you saw Faker roaming for the kills and trying to help the rest of the teams, he was leaving mid lane unattended for Crown to push to get that damage. And as Faker roams one more time, he's got no one near him.
Yeah.
1v4.
No TP top. His jungler is mid. Faker had no reason to walk in here and try and zone Samsung away from this turret. That was too risky.
He's done so much all game long, but when they're stretched thin and when they're pressured so much, feels like he wants to do even more, and this time overstepping into enemy territory.
What was funny is actually CuVee teleported to bot lane during that play. So sure they were that Faker wouldn't face check alone. They're like, bring the Cho'Gath, bring the Cho'Gath, SKT's here. And there was actually no one. He just kind of gave away top turret for it, but the idea was that Faker wouldn't face check this by himself, even though he did.
And now we have that setup again where Huni is winning his side in like he's been doing for most of Worlds, where he's a constant pressure point you have to deal with if you are Samsung. Because he's always going to just push, push, push. CuVee wants to leave that lane so badly and just join his team for a Dragon fight, for later on a Baron fight, but he's not allowed to right now without that TP, and SKT controlling the map.
Faker controlling his blue buff pretty cleanly as well. Couple more shots will do it in. There's the Q landing, and Faker on split push duty this time. He does have a teleport to match Crown split pushing later on in the game. They can both go for the 1-3-1, but we know Huni heavily ahead of Cuvee's Cho'Gath right now should make that side of it very easy.
And Huni again, keep the Cho'Gath in your lane so he can't TP to a fight, and then this Drake is in favor of SKT because they can have 5 members at the same time.
Exactly. You know, while Huni, yes, he can create pressure and keep CuVee there, he can also join his team with the teleport advantage that he's gained. He's roaming mid right now as SKT try and chase down Ambition.
Couple of slows in, but no root gonna land from Faker's W. Gets just out of the way in time as CoreJJ burns the wild growth for a bit more health. A trade of 1 ultimate for 1 out of the jungler of SKT.
And Samsung is staying around. CuVee is kind of going back and forth in his lane. Not sure if he should just stay and push. I think Samsung should just give up this Drake.
Mission's in melee range. Huni could have looked for something, not gonna have it though. Ocean Drake picked up. SKT 2-0 on Drake, so they sit on only a 1,000 gold difference. They've gone equal in turrets. They're up 3 kills, but the gold still very close together.
And we're still waiting for Blank to use the Rift Herald that he picked up earlier while we had all the fights in the bottom lane. That could be another turret for SKT. They know Huni will get the side lane turret, so the Rift Herald can be used for mid lane.
And over 2,000 gold of SK Telecom's advantage is specifically in the top lane matchup with Huni over CuVee. That's more than the overall gold lead of the team.
If Ambition and both bot laners right now ahead for Samsung Galaxy, so even though that gold lead and the kill score looks nice for the red squad, it's based on which players are actually in the fight. It's going to be still a very dynamic one. This is a tight game.
Huni's already at another turret, and this is gonna keep happening. Samsung's way to stop this is to force a fight in the mid lane with Malzahar, with Sejuani. That's the entire plan around the Malzahar pick, is to prevent split pushers from just sitting in the side lane all day because you force them to TP in to this potential fight. But it is difficult if you're not winning the map. But we need to see Crown and Ambition together force SKT back and therefore force Huni to stop split pushing and come join his team.
And it's been the philosophy and the story of Samsung. Team play, how they want to find victory. And again here, in this team composition specifically, it is going to be the exact same one as they collaborate around mid lane here and try and force SKT back. Huni is left to run rampant around the bottom side.
The Red himself trying to be answered by the Cho'Gath as well from CuVee. And looks like the Red goes cleanly over to Huni, walks away with an extra buff steal, 2,000 gold difference.
And it's hard for Samsung right now to force this fight because SKT can just back away. There's no Baron on the map yet. They have to try and protect. Once the Baron spawns, we're going to see all the control wards and we're going to see the setup. Now let's get a fight.
Ruler flashed away from 2 ultimates, and the re-engage lands a stun and a blink. Can they get the damage up? But not just yet. The re-engage though. Ambition gonna fall to Wolf's damage, but they trade back. They've actually knocked out Huni. The most fed member on the team. This 4v4 now looks good for Samsung Galaxy.
This was a 1-for-1, but SKT had no reason to force this fight. They are winning the split push war. Just delay the game.
Baker chunked low as well. Can't even get the root as well. See them starting to lose grip on this game.
They just gave Samsung what they wanted. a chance to play with 5. The only good thing for SKT was the fact that Huni did not use TP. He walked from bot to mid lane. CuVee had to use his. So there is a win for SKT, but it was a very risky call.
It definitely was risky. Let's take another look at how it actually played out. And again, so much of it was Ruler there. What a flash. He dodges 2 ultimates with 1 flash. The Gragas ultimate as well as the Leona one, and is able to get out a lot of that return damage. The big reason why Samsung went 1-1 in that team fight.
But the fact again, it ends 1-1, and Huni can sit with his TP and push the bottom lane. Well, then SKT, now the Baron is spawning, can go in and start getting their control wards down. We need to see them stack up on these wards. I want to see them from Faker, Bang, everyone control this Baron area. Otherwise, Samsung will take control again.
It's very scary too, because one of the most underrated parts of Trundle is, yes, everyone talks about his flip push, but he can also be a very successful team fighter if during the duration of his ultimate, when he's able to join the team. Even if CuVee is not there, he has another possible target in Ambition he can steal stats from for the duration of that ultimate. And with that teleport advantage you talked about, Deficio, he also gets the luxury of time, because he wants to wear away at that bottom side where Crown is trying to answer teleport.
Instun's gonna land in the back flank. Can they knock down Ruler with this one? Half HP on a hit, knocked back into the wall once again. Huni's in the mix, and he got the first kill. 1 carry is down. The re-engage to look for Crown. This Malzahar not long for the world. Has flash, doesn't matter. Double kill in for Bang in the chase out of the bot side. Looking, the flash forward can't quite get Ambition, but 2-0 means a good chance at Baron or more of the map. A slow's gonna land into CuVee.
Well, can he get away from this one?
There's not really a chance. He's got flash, but the rest of the squad is here, and he's just best dying with dignity. 3 dead. SKT win the crucial team fight.
And this is why we just talked about SKT going into that Baron area and start playing around it with Huni sitting in the side lane. As soon as Ruler shows up, there is no flash, and they just turn on him.
Now it's the battle for the Baron steal. The wards came down, but the similar sweeps coming in for SKT means it's Darkness and Faker taking the duty of zoning away Ambition. And at this point, he's given up the chase. There is no chance for a steal. This is going to be a team fight into Baron for SKT, and the lead about 6,000 as a result.
What can the defending champion do with this Baron buff now? They'll be looking to get the extra gold out of that outer mid lane on top side. Here's another look at that setup though. We mentioned the speed with which they jumped onto Ruler.
It's so risky for Samsung to walk in this river here. And that's why SKT see an opening and collapse on the no flash Varus. They take him down, they win the fight, and this was Samsung being a few steps ahead of themselves, being like, oh, SKT wants to set up Baron, not if we do it first. But then suddenly they get caught in the river, not able to take a fight.
Of course, Samsung Galaxy being in the back foot didn't see much of SKT's jungle themselves, didn't realize Leona was coming for them, and Wolf scented blood, and he found something. He found Ruler and he knocked him down a couple inches.
Now, one promising thing here for SK Telecom after this Baron buff is that also an Infernal Drink is the next spawn. So they can actually use this Baron buff and Huni's side pressure that this Trundle is just massive right now to be able to get another objective and some more of that attack damage and ability power for themselves.
And earlier, we talked about how there's a lot of pressure on SKT because if they lose here, it's over, it's done. But now the pressure suddenly shifts over to Samsung. You're 2-0 up. Now you're suddenly losing this 3rd game here. You start instantly thinking about the reverse sweep. You're playing against SKT in a big final. It's a tough situation to be in mentally.
It's always a fun argument to go through. And the hoops of logic that you have to jump to consider, oh yes, you're on game point versus SKT right where they want you. It's such a hilarious statement for people to make, but there is that kernel of truth, and with every comeback that SK Telecom make, it just adds to that legend and adds to that mythos.
The only best of 5 SKT has lost all year long has been the LCK finals to Longzhu. They're no longer with us in this tournament, knocked down by Samsung themselves. Nice smite away from Blank means a little bit more for them. SKT begin this long road back towards championship number 4. 6,000 gold. Their benefit so far from great split pushing out of Huni and solid ganks out of Blank. 100% kill participation out of the substitute jungler coming in. He's done so well as that second set of eyes in the squad.
And that earlier fight we saw in the mid lane ended up being even bigger for SKT because they got the flash away from the AD carry, allowing them then to pick him off a few minutes later and secure the early Baron here. CuVee and Ambition forcing Huni away from the turret, but at the moment, Samsung are just bleeding gold.
Huni is a big boy as well. He can take a few hits and heal right back up with his Rabbit and his Hydra off the wave, and they keep the pressure long enough to be able to will out some vision control here in the bottom side of the map as well. You can see the control wards going down now from SK Telecom themselves.
It's going to be a reset for now as Baron times out. The last 30 seconds means SKT going to reset for everything and get the recalls off. A chromatic array of Drakes for them. The stats across the line as a red goes over to Bang and they look for the next play.
All right, the next play does kind of look like some similar things we were talking about earlier in this series where the vision control leads to long-range initiation. Before it was Zac and taking advantage of that Fog of War, but here Leona gains almost as much as the Zac from starting off from the Fog of War, and they have that huge chain they can pull off. We've seen already the combination, and Samsung are now at defense, the second line of turrets only in the mid lane they have left standing.
And of course, it's important SKT, they continue playing aggressive now. Karma in the late game, their damage does fall off quite a lot, but at this point in the game, you just completed a death cap. Like, her damage is quite insane, and you have, of course, an AD carry next to her with 2 items fully completed and a Zeal coming in soon to be upgraded. Like, SKT are in a great spot to win the next team fight and use that to just win the entire game.
Looks very good for them. Huni's durable in the front line. Adaptive Helm and Frozen Heart, the tank items he seems to need here in this. Respect the attack speed slow, certainly valuable for himself. He's holding the mid lane for this squad as the rest of the crew heads to the top lane. 5 turrets already down in SKT's favor. 7,500 gold lead still their advantage. Not even 26 minutes into the game, but they are still looking for that first inhibitor to crack. Hold off for top lane for now, though, and keep rotating back and forth across the map, trying to find where that opening would be. Samsung Galaxy, though, playing good defense.
Right now, though, Samsung Galaxy without cleanse, no QSS, no Mikhails. Like, if they get hit by one stun from Wolf, soon they will get hit by multiple other abilities right after, just locking them in place. It is very scary to team fight against Gragas, Leona, and a Trundle pillar.
Yeah.
If you're playing Varus, like you're using the speed up from a Lulu as your defensive tools.
You can maybe dodge one stun, but getting rid of all of them is going to be incredibly difficult right now, moving towards further single target damage. And we just wait as the vision game continues. 2 minutes on Baron seems likely to be the next play to be had. Right now, SKT does own that vision. It's mostly Fog of War across from their map on Samsung Galaxy's side. They've got about 100 seconds to change that.
And to bring back up the story of the control wards that we talked about at the beginning of this series, in games number 1 and 2, those dominating victories for Samsung, they bought 100 control wards to 55 of SK Telecom, which goes to show how much map control and how well they were able to snowball with that Fog of War. Now it's kind of been flipped here, as SK Telecom have control of the map, and they're closing in on Samsung.
With their control, again, it's going to be taking lane priority into the Baron setup. There's only the one board I can see. Oh! The knockback on a Ruler, the continued CC, but only as slow as he's going to get away for now. They're re-engaged out of Samsung Galaxy. Can they knock down Blank as Vision holds the front line? Then Huni's in, gets the ulti out of Malzahar, but staying alive. Then back in towards Crown. Then into CuVee, trying to trade tanks back and forth. But Huni going to stay alive. A big shield and a heal and a run back at SKT. No deaths on either side.
Everyone is so low, though. Important here for SKT. They forced the flash away from Ruler, so for the next fight, they can target him again.
Bang on the 3 Adam spike. Looks
there we go!
Explosive. No, just a flash in. There's no follow-up in it. It's almost going to be the kill. Yes, they knocked down Blank the Rapture, all they needed. I don't know if he thought he had cast or what, but the body slam flash did nothing for SKT.
What a huge momentum breaker there for SK Telecom as they make the call for Blank to flash initiate, but get turned away by Samsung.
Still, though, now Samsung's carries without flashes. Next big team fight, there are flashes on the side of SKT. They can stay in the back line and wait for Wolf to land the stun onto Samsung here and then start the big fight. We just mentioned it before here, how hard it is for Varus against Trundle Pillars, Leona, Gragas to move around. The next big fight, that's the one SKT are really looking for, because now they can get Drake. Then, if they win a fight, they can get Baron as well.
Maybe they can keep this one going. Baron's up.
All eyes will be on Ruler. This time around, he is not a veteran anymore. He has stepped up so big for Samsung at this tournament. Meanwhile, SK Telecom trying to take advantage of the moment where they can gain vision and Baron buff.
You saw Wolf feel threatened. He was unwilling to go for that ward right there. Bang, though, has the safety to knock down this Infernal Drake pretty cleanly. No one getting the second glance.
And 100% agree with eyes on Ruler, and also want to say eyes on Wolf for the next fight here. He's had some good ultis in these team fights. Wasn't able to win the laning phase, but has been crucial for SKT in the last few big moments. He needs another good one for this next fight.
Now Summoner Spell's down on a lot of sides. CuVee, Crown, and Ruler all missing them. Their flashes. Flash explosive cast was so good.
Really nice move there from Blake. Bias land with the ultimate to get Ruler out, but the counter initiation is here. And look how much damage Huni takes from the Malzahar ultimate. Barely any when his ultimate is on, but the focus is almost enable them to burn him down anyway.
Also very important that Huni got his ulti off before he got ulted by the Malzahar to help stay alive. And this is the play after Blank goes in for the big play, but there is no follow-up just yet. Huni's tanking the tower, and Bang had a hard time getting position to actually kill either Crown or Ruler.
I think it was a small misplay from Bang, actually. He walked forward to auto attack instead of just getting the 4 autos to blow up explosive charge from the turret with its increased radius. That actually might have been real damage out of the back line, but he missed out. Either way, though, maybe a suspect body slam all the same. As you reset into this game 7,000 apart. Again, I want to look at who's got the vision control. It's SKT running through the river and getting rid of everything.
Yeah, that's the important one here. SKT setting up for this Baron, ready to turn if Samsung shows up without those key flashes. There's the vision. You can see Samsung has to face check. Good thing about Sejuani is with the passive, you can face check pretty easily and not take too much damage. But no one else can really do it.
Yeah, her passive and then the passive of Warmog, since Ambition is not built that. Never mind. That's the.
It's on CuVee.
That's CuVee.
Still works. CuVee can also face check.
Without flash, it's much harder to get away. If you get hit by Tristana with a red buff, or even just a Leona stun as well, of course, the chase down can be had. So CuVee does have to give respect to what SKT can do. Ambition kind of the one to do all of this. A defensive line of controls for Samsung Galaxy, but no vision in the deep pit.
There is a blue trinket right now for Ruler, used at the moment. Samsung moving in. This might be a big one.
Crown's pretty far away from the rest of the team.
That's the engage!
Gets the stun and a Ruler, gets the gets pushed back. He's gonna stay alive. Another re-engage, a giant silence out of CuVee, and he blows up. Bang! That's a 1-for-0. The chase-in is there, and they're gonna get rid of the bot lane entirely. There's no carries left for SKT. The chase to be had. Samsung Galaxy now in control of the river.
Samsung doing it again. They're winning these big fights when they're behind. They're supposed to lose these team fights, yet they turn it around.
3v5 to save the game. SKT, can they have Blank steal the Baron? Can they have the fight they need? Jumps the pit, looks the place of pressing this time. Samsung Galaxy call it right. They grab the Baron. Will they do the impossible?
On the biggest stage, Samsung Galaxy retake another game out of the grasp of SK Telecom. The gold lead about to swing wildly back in their favor, and this is a possible match point.
We had the setup. We talked about no flash on Ruler. Wolf needs to land the ulti, and he did. But then right after, Blank's ulti or Bang's ulti ended up shooting Ruler away from the fight.
And then Bang himself gets chomped by Cho'Gath in this fight, and there's still a flash on Cho'Gath.
Let's see it again here. They turn onto Ruler, they land the stun. He's now CC'd, and then he steps back, and it's Bang's ulti that ends up knocking Ruler further away, and then also puts Bang in the front line next to a massive Cho'Gath.
The walk-up silence on 4 means there's nothing you can even do about that. If you had flash up or not, it no longer mattered. The chase-in was there. So now with Baron in a deficit, Samsung Galaxy look to push.
Let's see what happens here with Ambition and Blank.
Red was to slow the stun gonna land as well. CoreJJ around explosive cast also lands on nothing. The exchange back out of CoreJJ. Nearly the kill, but look at that. Nethergrass gets them the kill on the jungler. Blank is down 8 to 9 in kills. So
they go back.
Apart. They're gonna find the next one, and the face check in for Faker dies with flash up. 2 kills, 5v3. Baron up the mid lane.
One of the most unbelievable occurrences in all of world. Samsung are on the brink of 3-0ing SK Telecom.
40 seconds on Faker, 25 seconds on Blank. They have the Baron buff. They're pushing for the Nexus.
They need this fight, SKT, to stay alive. They've done it so many times throughout the years. CuVee getting low. The chase on a Wolf. One more attack will do him, and he stays alive. But one Nexus turret falls. It's just the one to stay in there. Huni on the front lines. Bang to rejoin, clearing out the minions. The minions, though, still pushing in. The turret is gone. Ruler flashed away. He stays in. Wolf finds himself the first kill, but he's going to trade his life. Huni and Blank are alive though, 2 versus 4, the health bar's so low. SKT, hold on.
Ruler and CuVee living by the slimmest of margins as Huni tries to chase them out of the base, but so much damage has been done.
And CuVee's healing up on the Warmog, so a nice build.
Vegas TP.
And they get in, yes, they're gonna find the backline. Ambition gets the shield though. Look to the Nether Grasp, they will knock down Blank.
Vegas coming from behind now, full HP on this combat. He needs to stop SKT from losing.
The Flash Q's not gonna find it. A kill though for Huni. Can he keep SKT alive?
It's
Look
Vegas.
for Ambition. One more attack. Turns to Crown. Yes, a double for Huni. The mid lane stays alive. Now Faker in the melee range of CuVee. But a manaless Cho'Gath is not a threat. They're gonna keep chasing. The chomp is in. There is no way out for Cho'Gath. SKT will hold on.
This game is insane. SKT just managed to defend. Eventually they kill CuVee as well and buy a bit more time, but there are no Nexus turrets.
And there's an Elder Dragon about to arrive at the Rift. 10 more seconds and he will be there. SK Telecom need to utilize this to further the moment that they have.
And they have 4 Drakes. This is a huge buff for SKT to try and go down and get a big team fight to win the game.
There is no easy way to keep Ambition out of the pit, though. He's got a blast cone here, and he's got his Q to get back out if they need it. So far, not looking for the play just yet. It's going to be SKT able to mostly untouched go for this play. I don't believe Samsung sees now they do, but Huni does not kill the ward away. Controller turns it off, though, and Ambition going to turn back. This will be the 5-stack Elder Dragon for SKT.
There is a ward in the base of SKT, but it will die very soon. So despite double TP on Samsung's side, they can't use it to try and backdoor if SKT are pushing down the mid lane.
You can barely get closer than this. SK Telecom defend inside their base and are back out onto the map now with a huge buff. True damage coming through with the Elder Dragon. And let's take another look at how it initiated. The knock up here onto Bang got so much out of him, but Faker was the one to go down in the casualty.
SKT look done. They look completely out of it after they lost that fight at the Baron, but this is now the turnaround.
Faker teleports in behind the rest of the team in the river here. As you can see, Huni trying to re-engage with Blank. Faker then comes up through the jungle, and they were able to get off most of those kills and defend their base.
So the Elder Dragon buff lasts 2.5 minutes, and this is going to be an insane amount of damage out of the squad. They've got to get something with this one, buy some time until their inhibitor respawns. Looking right now at the mid lane siege, the primary priority.
Samsung just trying to kill the minions every time they show up. They just want to make sure they do not lose too much of their base. 5 members in the mid lane. The 2 side waves are slow pushing here at the moment. So SKT are trying to just get mid.
It's going to fall. Will there be more? They're going to get the stun on Ambition, and a few more auto attacks. Stays alive.
Again, there's no flash on Ruler. There's no flash on Crown. SK Telecom want to utilize this opening that they have.
Well, ulti down for both, though, means one less tool to use. Blank is flashless. It is very hard to get on Gragas without that summoner spell available.
And still no minions. Waiting for the next wave. Bot lane, again, it's slow pushing for SKT. Top lane, slow pushing for Samsung. So they're waiting just for this mid lane wave.
There's only under a minute left on this Elder Dragon buff right now. This is basically the last minion wave they get for this kind of play as they push down the mid lane. Of course, that super minion taking so long to kill it just delays all of the attempts that would be had out of SKT. The minions cleared away by Rupture, by the Malzahar, Silence, and everything else Varus can do. Mid lane going to be stymied.
And the tanks on SKT need to be careful. We have seen multiple fights now where Crown uses his Malzahar ulti on the tank, and CuVee follows up with his Feast from the Cho'Gath. And that is so much damage even for a frontline tank. It stops SKT from just running straight at Samsung.
Bot lane's crashing into the lane by Samsung Galaxy right now. As mid is still being pushed with the last vestiges of Elder Dragon for about 5 seconds left. And it will not be a fight. Samsung Galaxy hold. Bot lane wave crashing in right now, though.
Yeah, it's too much pressure for SKT to deal with. They are still keeping their undefeated elimination streak alive, but just barely here.
The slimmest of margins, and you just heard the announcer say the middle inhibitor is respawning, so SKT will not have a Nexus be backdoored, but still being turretless means if you flinch for 5 seconds, the inhibitor's gone and the Nexus will follow.
And there's been so many huge moments in this game here, even where small things mattered a lot. Tenacity on a Varus, so he steps out of a ulti from a Gragas and he stays alive. Now we have Baron spawning in 5 seconds. Ruler, Flash is ready, so it's the same here for Crown. SKT will not have an easy time turning around and forcing a fight, but man, they need to win this next team fight or the game is over.
SKT mount the comeback in the series, or does Samsung Galaxy get the comeback in the game to close it out 3-0? Killer on CuVee, he backs off. Mid lane priority right now. I want to see vision because I don't think Samsung Galaxy can see much of that SKT river up there. But they can always pressure mid. Looking at it now is Ambition, getting the slow onto Huni. Shot back by Bank. CuVee's to hold at the front line, and Samsung Galaxy push mid first.
As you can see, the
Flash hold left. They've caught Faker. They've got the CC. The mid laner is down. The unkillable Demon King has done just that. As Ruler stays in, life stealing. In the back line, they found more as Huni does not have a way out. Pops to Yolt, but he has no exit route. 2 more autos will kill him down, but he gets to run away. They twitch to their aggro. They knock down Wolf instead. 5v3 in mid.
In the moment of truth, they flash on Faker, and they take out the heart of SK Telecom.
Faker had no flash when the fight started. They knew that, so they used everything to kill him.
A game-winning pick, a championship-winning pick for Ruler. That might be the Flash R that signals the end of the SKT dynasty. There are no turrets. It is 5 versus 3. Huni, do you have what it takes to win the game? Bang certainly does not. Ruler on the Nexus. The upset is complete as the kills come through. The SKT dynasty is over. All hail the new kings. Samsung Galaxy, your 2017 World Champions! What a deserved walkout. The deafening cheers of tens of thousands of cheering Chinese fans. Samsung Galaxy, the only team to ever dethrone SKT at Worlds. They do it on the biggest stage the league has ever seen.
And they do it in the biggest way. 3-0 versus SK Telecom. You could see the emotion on the Samsung Galaxy players' faces. That is an entire year waiting to get back to this moment, waiting for the rematch, and they made it count.
Every single player talked about revenge against SKT, and they got it. Faker is destroyed.
And now it's relief on the side of Samsung, anguish on the side of SKT. Coma and Faker have won every single Worlds they attended until today. In their second attempt, Samsung Galaxy, everyone on this squad, for the first time ever, gets to hoist the Summoner's Cup in Beijing, in the Bird's Nest. And tens of thousands erupt in cheers over the deserved world champions, and what a run they had to take. European champions in their group, Korean champions in their quarterfinal, what people called the best Chinese team in the semi, and SKT, the reigning world champions in the final. Every one of them defeated.
There is no greater achievement in League of Legends than beating SKT in a world final.
Nine and 1 in the top 8. No one came close to them in a best of 5.
Their controlled style
让我们把
reigns
全场的
supreme.
掌声送给2017英雄联盟全球总决赛冠军三星战队。同样，我们有请 Ambition 来到我们的身边。哇，我们现在要采访一下我们的 Ambition 安长们。好的，在恭喜完了三星获得冠军之后，此时此刻，作为队伍的功勋的传奇的打野选手，最想跟所有支持三星和支持你们的粉丝说的话是什么？
결승전 이기고 지금 팬한테랑 삼성 지지한 사람들한테 뭔 얘기하고 싶어요?
All right, as Rendong sets up this interview with Ambition, we have to welcome Lexi to the analyst desk as she's going to help us work through some translations here in the ceremony of the trophy.
Thank you, Dash, for the invitation. Well, right now, Rendong's just asking Ambition how he feels and what does he want to say to all the
首先
crowd.
的话，他觉得这一切很不真实。然后的话，他觉得应该是他2年的努力，导致他今天能获胜，是一个最重要的结果。然后现
Well,
在
Ambition
感谢
thinks
所有
that
人，
this
感谢他
win
老婆。
today is really
还好
unrealistic, and it's really all the hard
英
work
雄
that he's been
智
putting
足
into this
传奇
game.
就
And
是像
finally, it's
Ambition 这
paid
样
off.
的电竞老兵，在战场上一次又一次的努力奋斗，获得了这次的冠军。那么我接下来问一个问题：是怎么样一种动力，让你坚持在这个战场上浴血奋斗呢？
So now Rendong's actually asking Ambition, what really is driving him? What's the motivation behind all of this hard work that's put into League of Legends for him?
Many years in the making here, this victory for Ambition.
그냥 기왕하는 거 최선을 다하자 그런 생각을 많이 했었고요. 그래서 이렇게 결국에 최종적인 그런 목표를 이룬 것 같아서 진짜 5년, 6년 동안 열심히 했던 게 지금 빛을 보는 것 같습니다.
他觉得既然作为一个职业选手好，然后一定要把自己能做的事情都做了，
He
然
thinks
后现在
that
打
as
了
a
5、6
professional
年，终于拿到
player,
他
it's
想
really
要的目
important
标
for
了。
him to really do
我
the
们再
best
一
that
次
he
把掌
can
声
with
送
this
给
game,
2017英
and
雄联
now
盟
he's
的
finally
冠军
able
战队
to get this
恭喜
championship cup.
三星！
A much-deserved victory for
好的，
him
感谢我们的翻
and
译
the
军队，谢
remainder
谢。
of the
那此
Samsung
时此刻的话，我们
organization.
接下来就要我们的三星战队来享受我们的荣耀时刻了。我们有请的是我们的拳头游戏的联合创始人 Mark 和 Brandon， 以及拳头中国负责人 Johnson 上台为他们来进行颁发属于他们的最高
Now
荣耀。
Rendong is welcoming to the stage the co-founders of Riot Games, Brandon Beck and Mark Merrill, as well as Riot's head of China, Johnson Yang. They will be performing the medal
经过了
ceremony.
入围赛到8强的争夺，到半决赛的厮杀，最终在北京鸟巢，三星获得了今年的全球总决赛的冠
Samsung
军。
has been
有
through a
请我们
lot
的
this
3位
entire
嘉宾
world
为
now,
他们
from
颁
groups
发荣
to
耀。
from groups, and then up until now, they really played a lot of games and played like a lot
此
of
时此
tough
刻
games.
我们要把掌声送给
As
台
we
上的
see
每一
Huni
位选
exiting
手
the，stage, still
无
in
论
search
输
of his
还
first
是
world
赢，他们都
championship.
在
It's time to
都在
celebrate
今天的比
each
赛为
of
我
the
们呈现
individual
了最
members
高
of
水
the
准的
winning
对
team
决。
today.
让我们记住台上的冠军选手们，上路 LCK 单上网今天表现出色的 CuVee， 刚刚智足传奇获得冠军的打野传奇
Crown getting that victory that he's been striving from since last year, given an impossible task to match Faker, and he does that today.
And it was Ruler getting caught out a year ago that capped off the win for SKT. It was Ruler catching out the best of all time in Faker that won them this game.
For CoreJJ, ADC to support, and within such a short period of time to be able to hoist the trophy, can only imagine. And then the coach, Edgar, the man who's leading the charge for this entire squad.
我们再把掌声送给
Assistant coach Trace as well, formerly of Jin Air, top laner there, came in, helped with the pick and ban, and they were super solid with that in this tournament.
感谢 Johnson， 请回到我们的舞台。这样的话，我们一起留下值得纪念的时刻。与此同时，英雄智足传奇2017英雄联盟全球总决赛的冠军是三星 Galaxy。
One more time, the Bird's Nest will cheer for our champion, Samsung Galaxy 3-0.
2017英雄联盟全球总决赛冠军诞生，所有的召唤师们，让我们 S8再见。